Now let's dive deep into this big LGBT story for today. I'm Larry Farver, and let's queer up drag culture. Will RuPaul's Drag Race Lexi Love be canceled on social media? Well, will RuPaul's Drag Race finalist Lexi Love survive a social media takedown? That's the question fans are asking as the Queen faces mounting copyright claims over her stage name. An actor, producer, and self-described AI architect and sustainable fashion entrepreneur, also named Lexi Love, is accusing the Drag Race star of infringing on her federally registered trademark. She's been posting legal warnings online, tagging Paramount, MTV, and World of Wonder, and demanding that contestant immediately cease all use of the Lexi Love registered trademark name. The trademark holder wrote on Twitter, quote, "Taking my name and using it without consent, you are erasing my 2-year decade legacy and identity, actions that directly contradict the values of consent, authenticity, and respect that LGBTQ plus and marginalized communities champion for. Immediately cease all use of the Lexi Love trademark name." For the Drag Race star, the fight is personal. In a statement shared with Out, she said, quote, "I've been using Lexi Love since 2009. She was apparently being tagged as me, which is how she discovered me. And then 2 months after I was announced on TV, she reinstated an old trademark she no longer had and now is attacking my social media cameo and streaming music," end quote. She revealed that venues have already canceled her shows and music has been pulled from Spotify and Apple. Still, she remains hopeful. Quote, "At least at this point, I'm considering and more likely having a name me contest or something like that so I can keep as much of my brand and social media intact before she ruins everything that I've worked for and erase me off social media," end quote. As the Queen heads on tour in Australia, fans are left wondering, will Lexi Love be able to hold on to her name, or will social media platforms erase her drag legacy? Well, I think there's an opportunity here, and it's up to Lexi Love, the drag queen, how she wants to go. But I think she's off to a good start talking about maybe having a name that contest. I think, drag performers often poke fun at themselves. She can make this into a whole new part of her career, and I would encourage her to do that.
Well, I think the obvious, at least to me, I'm entering the contest here for the naming. Just change the spelling of love.
Yeah.
If you spell it L-U-V, you will still have Lexi Love. It will still sound the same.
100%.
It'll just be spelled different.
Or change how Lexi's written.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, either way, it would still be, because some people were saying put Lexi Love Q, right? Like for Queen.
Right.
But I mean, your way, you still get the same pronunciation. You're still
change the I to a Y and change the OVE to UV, and you've solved the problem.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Believe me, if the two were in the same room, no one would confuse one for the other. These are very different appearances.
Okay, but the Lexi Love that's saying that Lexi Love is using their name is a company, or it's a person? It's a person.
Well, she's an adult actress.
She's a friendly adult.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
So, not that that's bad.
No,
it's just,
no.
But, it's interesting that she discovered that her name was being used and all of a sudden became an issue.
Yeah, they had a trademark that wasn't even valid, and then went back in to make sure that it was valid.
And it appears
after she sees that Lexi Love becomes a household name after Drag Race.
Some paper, right?
It's unfortunate because, obviously, she went into Drag Race, the Lexi Love in Drag Race, figuring that this was her name. This is, how she was going to brand herself. And obviously, she didn't really research that if somebody else is using it too. But it may not have been used, like you said. And it might be this person saying, you know what, I'm just going to capitalize on that. And they have their right. And it's unfortunate that I wish that the drag queens that going into RuPaul's Drag Race, when they come out, they're a little more educated on the business side in terms of how to promote themselves. Because once they become famous, they get all these followers and they get all of these bookings and stuff. But how do you sustain?
They don't know what to do with it afterwards, right? Like I was watching a documentary on The Biggest Loser, right? On the folks that lost all that, right? And it's like, okay, they're there for 6 weeks, putting their body through horribleness,
Yes,
right?
yes.
To get to this goal, and then nobody helps them after.
They're like shoved out of the net.
and then they're shoved and by. We're done with you. On to the next show, right?
They gain all the weight back.
And they gain all the weight back. They don't know how to deal with looking in the mirror and seeing somebody else that's different, right? So let's talk about drag race, stars. They don't know now the notoriety. Now they're more famous. Now more people know who they are. Now they should make sure that their name is trademarked, like things like that.
But do you think that's up? Is it up to RuPaul?
No, but I'm saying, like, when you go to the hospital, you get discharge papers. They should give you some kind of discharge papers when you leave RuPaul's Drag Race. Now that you're not with us anymore, take care of this.
Well, you know, if they get a good manager, maybe that's an opportunity for some people in our LGBT community to, if they're not an entertainer, to be behind the scenes and help manage careers.
Yeah.
They go on to do many different things with Drag Race and stuff. I just think that, with a little more education, and coming out of that, they won't run into these roadblocks. They're such fragile when they come into this. I can't imagine, coming in off of wherever it is you're doing drag, and then you're on like the biggest show.
Right, someone coming in from small towns too.
And all of a sudden being bombarded with all of this. You see them go through, and I think Lexi has alluded to like having her own, substance abuse problem too. So, that it's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot to figure out within a short amount of time.
A lot. I mean, on the show, we saw Lexi Love and her relationship with her mom. We saw that her mom had used girl when talking about her, and she was floored because it was the first time that she had referred to her as a woman. So Lexi went through some serious shit live on TV with us.
Yes.
That other girls didn't have to, I mean, so look, drag queens have had to reinvent themselves since the beginning of time. All right. That is why we look up to them. That is why they are our foundation and our base. Right. So I'm not worried about her having to change her name. I'm more worried about her music. Right? Because we saw with Taylor Swift, the biggest pop star in the universe, had to go through to get rights to her own music that she wrote and played the instruments for. And so, like you said, we need something for these drag queens to make sure that they have something, some kind of something to their...
Like a graduation, like saying, here's where you can get this, and this. Hopefully they do that, but I don't know.
Well, we'll be watching out for Lexi, and we hope that you get to keep your name, however that is. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.